Okay, boys and girls, we are going to look today at lesson 1.3, and we're going to be on pages 25 to 28 today. 25 to 28. So right now I'm on page 25, and they have a little chart for you on page 25, and it looks just like this. So I've set up my chart to look just like the page does. So we're going to do a little bit of subtracting, and we're going to talk about regrouping. We talked about regrouping with adding already, and now we're going to talk about regrouping with subtraction. So if I have this problem, this is the problem that we're looking at. We have 64,000, and I'm just writing it down here, 64,075, and we're going to subtract 36,529 from that. So I'm going to show you what that looks like when we're regrouping. So if I start out and I have 5 minus 9, right over here I have 5 minus 9. So I'm going to go ahead and take my 5 right here. Can I take 9 away from that? No, I can't, because I need to have at least a number that's larger than 9. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cash in. I'm going to drag one of these guys over here. I'm going to regroup from the tens place, and I have 10, right? And I'm going to exchange that 10 for these, right? And all these are 10 ones, right? Now, if you're looking at the page in the book, you can see that we've regrouped. Now I have 6 over here in the tens place, right? And now I have 15 over here in the ones place. So I just regrouped, and now I can subtract. Now I'm going to take away 9. So I just count out 9, and I've taken away 9, and so 15 minus 9 is 6, right? Here's 5 and 1, that's 6. Now, can I take 2 away from this one? Can I take 2 away from this? Absolutely. And what do I have left when I do that? 4, right? So 6 minus 2 is 4. Now, I've got a problem here in the hundreds place because I have nothing, right? I have nothing. I have a 0 in the hundreds place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these thousand chips and I'm going to drag it over here. And that means I'm going to cash that in for 10, right? That 1,000 is worth 10 hundreds. Yeah, so cashing that in. Now I can subtract it. Now over here, that means that I have, in the thousands place, that means that I have 1 less, but it means that I actually only have 3, right? So I have 3 right here. Boop, 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 boop. Right? I only have the 3. And that's going to be a problem later on, but I'm not going to worry about it till now. And instead of having 0, I cashed in the 1,000 for 10 hundreds, right? Now I'm going to take 5 away from that. And what do I end up with? I have 5 hundreds. Now, again, I have a problem here because I only have 3 of these thousands, and I have to take 6 away from that. I can't do that, so of course, I'm going to drag this chip over from the 10,000s, which means now at the 10,000s, I only have 5, right? I have 5 left because I've taken them away. I'm going to cash these in, and I'm going to cash them in for 10. There's 5. There's 5 more. Now I have 13, right? Here's 10, 11, 12, 13. And I'm going to subtract 6 from that. So I'm going to take out 3, 6, and I end up having 5, 6, 7, right? So I have 7. Now I'm going to take 3 away from this. I only have 5, right? Because I regrouped. Now I'm going to take 3 away, and I end up with 2. Okay? So that's the process that we go through when we're regrouping. We're always going to look for the next place value. If we can subtract without regrouping, we go ahead and subtract without regrouping. If we can't subtract without regrouping, then we have to do the regrouping, right? So let's take a peek. Let's get our papers ready, and maybe what we'll do is look at, we're going to be doing some subtraction problems, and we'll maybe show another one so you guys can see it. Usually what I do is my class kind of shares these. We work with elbow partners, and they go ahead and set the numbers. They set the chips out, and they exchange them. So maybe maybe we'll try another problem. In fact, let's look at number 15, okay? I will put another piece of paper on here so you guys can look at it. And so if we're looking at number 15, we have 42,076, and we're going to be subtracting 23,168. So let me just quickly set out. I'm going to set out 42,076. So I need 6 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 ones. I need 7 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I need no hundreds. That's easy. And then I need 2 thousands. Right, so let me get my thousands out. 2 thousands. Blonk. There's 2. Boop, boop. And then I need 4 of these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. One of the problems with these little place value charts is they're not big enough. But we just kind of make them work. So this is 42,000. Nothing here. And this is 7. There's 7 of these. And there's 6 down here of the ones. I'm just double checking, right? Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to subtract from here. Now we can't take 8 away from here because we don't have 8 to take away. We only have 6, right? So we're going to cash this guy in, and that means we're going to actually cash it in for 10. Here comes 10. Let me just get it out really fast. Oh, lightning fast. Here comes 10. So we're taking this, regrouping it, and we're going to cash it in for that. Make sense to everybody? So when we do that on our paper, the traditional algorithm, we cross out the 7, and now we have 6. Right? I only have 6 of these because I cashed one in. When I cashed it in, it made it into 10, right? So now I have 10 plus, I think I put an extra one there, yeah. So now I have 16, right? Can I take 8 away from that? Absolutely. Here's 5, 6, 7, 8. Make that disappear. And I have 6, 7, 8. So I end up with 8, right? Now, can I take 6 away from this? Absolutely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I take 6 away and I have nothing, right? So far I just have my little 8 ones, my sad little 8 ones in the ones column. I have nothing over here in the hundreds, but I'm supposed to subtract 1, and I can't subtract 1 from nothing. So I'm going to regroup this thousands over here. Now instead of having 2, I have 1, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to count out 10 of these goodies. I have 1 pile of 5, and here's 10. Ka-ching. Can I take 1 away from that now? Absolutely. And when I take 1 away, I end up with, so this is going to come over here and it's going to become 10. When I take 1 away, it becomes 9, right? Does that make sense to everybody? Now I have one of these. I'm supposed to take 3 away from 1. I cannot do that. So I'm going to regroup, drag 1 over here. Now I have 3, right? And I'm going to swap these for 10 purples. I really like this. I'm a horrible subtractor. Subtraction is just the worst thing for me. I hated it as a kid. I kind of hate it as an adult. And I love these chips. They kind of help me to understand subtraction a lot better. So now, instead of having 1 minus 3, I have 11. See how I have 5, 10, 11. And when I take 8 away, I end up with, if I take, I take 11 minus 3, I'm supposed to take this away. And then I have this left. And this is going to give me 8. I have 8 of them left, right? There's 8. And now I'm going to take 2 away from this pile in the 10,000s place, and that leaves me with 1. So my answer is, here's the 10,000s. There's 8 here. It's hard to see them. There's 8. I have a lot more of these. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I have 8 of these. They don't fit very well, so I have 8 of these. So regrouping happens as you need it. When I was a little kid, I would just regroup everything, whether I needed it or not. And so I would always get the problem wrong because I was just regrouping everything. I would regroup all the way across. Regroup it all, and you only regroup as needed. You just go to each place value place and regroup as you need it, which is the same in addition too. If you think of addition and subtraction, they're just inverse operations, right? Now I'm going to take this problem, I'm going to keep it right here because I'm going to write it on my paper in a second. So we've already done 15. And then right over here, I'm going to do 16, and then I'll transfer it to my paper. Okay, so no worries. Let's do 16. We'll use our chips that we have. Number 16 looks like this. I have 86,247, and I'm going to subtract 67,589. Oh, little Karen would have been a crybaby if I had to do this, but when I have my magic chips, I'm in good shape. So I need 7 of these, and I like to put them in stacks of 5. So I have 5, 6, 7, right? So I have 7 of those. Then I have 4, let's see, I have 200s, and then I just need to grab my 10s. Hello, 10s. I have 4 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I have thousands. I need 6. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's my stack of 5. And then I have my 6th one. I kind of like to put them in stacks of 5. It helps. And then I have lots of 10,000s, right? I have 8 of them. So I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'll have 6, 7, 8, right? Put my little stack of 3 right there. Okay, so that's my top number. Now I'm going to start out by subtracting. I'm supposed to take 9 away from here, but I can't take 9 because I only have 7 of these. So again, I'm going to regroup. I'm dragging a 10 over. And if I drag a 10 over, that means I'm going to exchange those for 10. There's 5. And here's 10. So I just regrouped And now I have 3 in the tens place, right? So I regrouped, I have 3, and instead of having 7, I have 17 because I cashed in, I regrouped these 10. So now I can easily take 9 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what do I have left? I have 8 left. This is a stack of 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so far so good. Yeah. Now I have 3 of these, and I'm supposed to take 8 away. So you can see that that's not going to work. I can't take 8 away. So I'm going to regroup 1 from over in the hundreds. That leaves me with 100, right? And now I'm going to cash these in. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's worth 10 every time you cash it in. You're cashing it in for 10. Remember, we work with base 10 numeration in our number system. Makes it nice and easy. So now I have plenty. Now I have 13, right? There's 5 in each little stack, so I have 13. Now I can take 8 away. Here's 5, 6, 7, 8 disappears. And what do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, right? 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to just spread them out so you can see them a little bit better. All right. Now I've got to subtract 5 hundreds, right? This number right here, I'm subtracting. I only have 1. Ah! So I'm going to come over here to my thousands. I'm going to set 1,000 over here, and then I'm going to cash this in. This sure has an amazing amount of regrouping over here. So now I'm going to exchange that, regroup it for 10, right? 10 hundreds. So I'm doing that on my paper right here. I had 6, now I have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and now I have a whole bunch. Now I have 11. There's 5, 10, 11. I'm going to take 5 away. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 11 minus 5 is 6. I forgot to do this. I have 5, right? I can see the chips. Okay, now I have 5 over here, but I have to take 7. Oh no, not a problem. I'm going to grab one of these 10,000s, and that means I'm going to have 2 stacks of 5 or 10, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here we go. Here's 5, and here's 10. Here's a 10. Okay, 10 of them. And now I'm going to go ahead, and I took 1 away from here, and that means I have 7. So I'm going to lay those out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I still have a whole bunch happening over here. I have 15 actually, because there's 10, right? Plus 5 is 15. This is going to be 7 over here. 15 minus 7, well, let's get rid of our 7. There's 5, 6, 7. And we're going to spread these out. And that means I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now I'm going to take 6 away from this 7. And when I do that, that means I'm clearing out all these guys. And that means I have 1, right? So you can see my answer. I have 1 in the 10,000s place. I have 8 in the thousands place. I have 6 in the hundreds. I have 5 in the tens, and then I have 8 in the ones, right? So I have 18,658. So again, we are only regrouping if we need to. Don't just go nuts like little Karen used to and just regroup everything, because you don't need to do that. For some reason, I would go all the way across and I'd just start regrouping like a maniac, right? But you are smarter than little Karen, so you're going to regroup only as needed, right? You don't need to cash it in if you have enough to subtract. In this case, we had to regroup everybody because we didn't have enough in any of the place value columns. But in this one, and same thing in this one, yeah, we regrouped like crazy, like maniacs in the other one too. So there will be times when you can go ahead and perform the subtraction without regrouping, just like we did in the very first problem. So I'm going to put all my little chippies back in the bag. We used to call this, in class, we call this bag the mothership. We put all the tiny bags into the mothership. Okay, so I'm going to take these papers away. I still have my answers that I wrote down, and I'm going to fold my paper, and I think we're doing, let's see, we're doing 15, 16, and then we're going to do a whole bunch more problems on 28. So we're going to go ahead and fold into 8 squares. So I'm doing my hamburger, 3 hamburgers, hamburger, and then we're going to open it up. And you know me, I like to show the lines on the paper because I think it makes it a lot easier if we show the lines. So I'm going to go like this, like this, like this, like this. You don't have to do this on your paper because I can see the folds on your paper. It's just you can't see the folds on my projector. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and we're always, remember, going to write our names in the corner. This is lesson number 1.3. And today we're going to do pages, we're doing 25 through 28. And that starts out on number 15, right? So we're looking at number 15, and we already wrote it down. So I'm just going to cheat and write it on my paper. We also did 16 already, right? We used our place value chart to do that. So I'm just going to copy it onto my paper. I had 42,076, and I'm subtracting 23,168. My answer I got was this, 18,908. I regrouped the 4. I regrouped that one. I regrouped that. I regrouped this with a 6, and I regrouped that with a 1. Okay? Now I'm going to write 16. I would have had you do the same thing in class too. You just would have had a partner that you would have been using the chips with, and you guys would have subtracted it. What's fun though is when you have the chips, I make you do the problem without being able to write it down, and you just have to regroup and use the chips. And it kind of teaches you regrouping a little bit because you don't have the algorithm that I'm writing right now to cheat from. And then I ended up with 18,658. Okay, so we just went ahead and did those 2 problems. We used our place value chart. We're going to do some of the other ones on page 28. We're going to do 17, 18, 19, 20. We're going to go all the way to 24. And we're going to do it without the chips, just with regrouping. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 on the back, 23, and 24. And then we'll be done for the time being. I think that's all I have us doing. I don't think we need to worry too much about the last few, 25 through 28. I think this is good enough practice. Okay, let's look at number 17. We have 54,631, and we are subtracting 23,807. Okay, so I'm going to actually, I'm thinking it might help if I regrouped. Sometimes I use a different color when I'm doing that. Let's do this one, and then we'll see if you think I need to use another color. So if I have 1 in the ones place, and I want to subtract 7 from it, I cannot do that. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to take one of these little chips, and that leaves me with 2 chips left over, right? And then I'm going to be able to, that's like saying 10, right? So instead of having 1, I have 11. If I take 7 away from that, 11 minus 7 is 4, correct? And can I subtract 2 minus 0? Do I need to regroup? I can, if I have 2 over here and I'm taking nothing away, I don't have to regroup. 6 and taking 8 away, I cannot do that. So I need to come over here to the thousands place, take 1 chip, which leaves me with 3, and then when I add the 10, when I cash it in for 10, I'm going to end up with 16 instead of 6. And 16 minus 8 is 8. Now, can I do 3 minus 3? Absolutely. If I have 3 chips, I can take 3 away. That leaves me with no chips. And then I have not regrouped from here at all. I haven't borrowed. Sometimes in the old days we call it borrowing. I have not borrowed from the 10,000s place. So 5 minus 2 is 3. So my answer is 30,824. Okay, let's look at number 18. On number 18, I have 37,358. And I'm going to subtract 17,049. And again, if I'm talking too fast for you or going too fast, this is the benefit of videos. You can stop me. Just hit pause, right? If you hit pause, then you'll know what we're doing and it makes me slow down. In class, you can raise your hand and say, slow down. All right, let's look right here. I have 8 chips in the ones place. I cannot take 9 chips away. So I'm going to go over here to the tens place, regroup, take one of these 5 away. That leaves me with 4. And then instead of having 8, I'm going to have 18 because I have to cash it in for 10, right? When I subtract 18, if I take 9 away, I end up with 9. What happens when I do this over here? Can I, if I have 4 chips in the tens place, can I take 4 away? Absolutely. And that leaves me with 0. I'm in the hundreds place now. I have 3 green chips. Can I take none away? Yeah. If I take none away, I still have 3, right? 7 minus 7, if I have 7 in the thousands place, if I have 7 lavender colored chips, I can take 7 away and I end up with nothing on my place value chart. And then I can go ahead and subtract 3 minus 1 and that gives me 2. So my answer is 20,309. So if when you're doing this, you just picture the place value chart and you picture the chips, that's what I like about the chips is that they're colored. So it's really easy for you to remember. I can even remember the colors and that helps me. Okay, let's look at 19. We have 62,485. We're subtracting 54,387. So I'm going to go ahead. This is my ones place, right? I'm looking at my little light blue chips. I have 5 of them on my mat, but I need to take 7 away, and I can't do that. So I'm going to come over here to the tens place. I'm going to regroup, and I'm going to take 1 chip away. That 1 is worth 10 ones. So now I have 15 chips over here. And if I take 15 minus 7, I'm going to end up with 8 chips left over, right? Come back here to the tens. I have 7 chips on the tens in the tens place, right? They're pink. I have 7 pink chips. I'm trying to take 8 away. I can't do that because that 8 is too many, right? The bigger numbers on the bottom, you can't do it. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to regroup. I'm going to take a chip from the hundreds place. 1 green chip's going to come over here, and it's worth 10 pink chips. So that makes that into 17, and that makes this into 3, right? 17 minus 8, if I take that many chips, 8 chips away from 17, I get 9. Now I'm looking over here. I have 3 green chips, and I want to take 3 away. I end up with no green chips, right? So I didn't have to regroup there. Now I'm going to come over here to the thousands place, right? The lavender chips. I have 2 lavender chips. I'm trying to take 4 away. I can't do that. The 4 is too big. So I'm going to come over here to the dark blue chips. I'm going to take 1 of them away, and I'm going to cash it in for 10, which makes this into 12 lavender chips. And 12 minus 4 leaves me with 8 lavender chips. If I have 5 dark blue chips and I take 5 dark blue chips away, I have no chips left. So my answer is 8,098. Okay, let's do number 20. We only have 4 more to do. Let's say I have 84,352. And I'm going to subtract 46,734. Okay. So I've started out with my light blue chips. I only have 2 of them, but I'm going to take 4 away. So I have to go next door and cash it in, which leaves me with 4 of the pink chips, right? And that means I'm bringing 10 more light blue chips. And 10 plus 2 is 12. When I subtract 4 from that, 4 chips, I take 4 chips away, I get 8. Do I have to regroup here? If I have 4 pink, I can take 3 away and I end up with 1 pink, right? That looks good. Now I'm coming over to the hundreds place. I have 3 green chips. I can't take 7 away. I'm going to go over here to the lavender, take 1 away, cash it in for 10, and that leaves me with 13 minus 7. When I have 13 minus 7, I'm going to end up with 6, right? 6 chips left. Now I have 3 of the lavender chips. I don't have enough. I have to take 6 away. So I'm going to come over to the dark blue, take 1 chip from there, regroup it, and that makes 10. So this is 13. It's 3 plus 10 is 13. And then I subtract, and I get a 7. I do not have to regroup this. And also, there's nothing to regroup it from. So I have 7 minus 4 is 3. So my answer is 37,618. Now, on the next one, I'm going to show you a little trick that I learned when I was in 4th grade because I was a really bad subtractor. I think I learned this trick in 3rd grade. My teacher taught it to me because I was terrible at subtracting because I was regrouping all the way across like a crazy maniac. So a teacher showed me. We had teacher's aides when I was in 3rd grade. So I'm pretty sure it wasn't my teacher that taught me. I'm pretty sure a teacher's aide. Or it might have been a summer school teacher because I had to go to summer school for math. I really struggled with math. So it could be that I learned it from a summer school teacher. In fact, I probably did. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this whole problem, and then I will show you a check step which might help you with your subtraction. So I'm going to start out with light blue. I have 2 light blue chips. I'm taking 1 chip away, and that leaves me with 1. I'm coming over here. I have 3 of the pink chips. I'm taking nothing away, so that leaves me with still 3 pink chips. I have 5 green hundreds chips. I take 4 away, and that leaves me with 1. I have 4 lavender thousand chips, right? Of the purple, I take 2 away. That leaves me with 2. I have 2 of the dark blue. I take nothing away and I end up with 2. That was really easy. We had no regrouping. Here's the check step. I'm going to take these 2 numbers because addition and subtraction are called inverse operations. That word looks like this. They are inverse operations. If I tie my shoes, I can do an inverse operation of untying my shoes. And I can tie them back up again. So an inverse operation are operations in math that cancel each other out. So we know that addition and subtraction are inverse operations. We also know that division and multiplication are inverse operations. So if I am looking at subtraction here, I can use addition to check my work because addition and subtraction are inverse operations. So I'm going to take these 2 numbers, my answer, and I'm going to take the bottom number of my subtraction problem, and I'm going to add them together, right? So I'm taking this and this. I'm going to add them together, and when I add them, down here, it should match up with my answer. So 1 plus 1 is 2, 0 plus 3 is 3, 4 plus 1 is 5, 2 plus 2 is 4, and 2 plus nothing. Does this match the top number? Yes. So I know that my answer is correct. Okay, so we use the answer and we add it to the bottom number, and that should give us the larger number on the top, right? And if those numbers match, then you know you did the subtraction correctly. So if they don't match, you can go back in and see where you messed up on the regrouping. And that's what I learned because I would always regroup, and sometimes I didn't need to, but I would still regroup anyway because I loved regrouping. So I would just regroup all the way across, and then I would get a crazy answer down here. So my teacher taught me that when I add this number to this number, it has to equal the top. If it doesn't, let's say that I got a 6 down here, then I would know, oh, I regrouped somewhere in here is where I made my mistake. And then I could go back and fix it. And so that way I didn't completely fail out of math because I used this check step, right? We know our answer, though, is going to be, this is our correct answer. But this is just our check step. Okay, we're going to do another one. We have 3 more to go. So let's do 22. It's 99,284. I used to get tummy aches when I'd have to do problems like this when I was little Karen. And the chips, learning about how to use the manipulatives really helped me so that I didn't feel sick when I was doing subtraction. So this one also is not going to require, we have a nice big huge number up here at the top. So if I have 4 of the light blue chips and I take 2 away, I end up with 2. If I have 8 of the pink chips and I take 1 away, I end up with, if I take 7 away, I end up with 1. I said that backwards. If I have 2 of the green hundreds chips and I take 1 away, I end up with 1. If I have 9 of the lavender colored chips and I take 7 away, I end up with 2. And if I have 9 of the dark blue chips and I take 9 of them away, I end up with nothing. So my answer is 2,112. Now watch, I'm going to do my check step. It's good that this one's nice and easy and it doesn't have regrouping because it makes it simple. So I'm going to add these two together because I can. I'm going to add the answer plus the smaller number on the bottom, and that should give me the bigger number on the top. 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus 7 is 8. 1 plus 1 is 2. 7 plus 2 is 9. And 9 plus nothing is 9. Did that give me the top number? Yes. Yay, right? So the check step showed me that I did it correctly. This is still my answer right here, 2012. And even if you do the check step on your paper, I will know which one is the answer. So no worries. And mainly I'll know because I have the answer book. Haha, and it has all the answers in red. Okay, let's look at number 23. This time I bet I'm going to have to do some regrouping because they were really nice and didn't make us regroup too much in the last two. So now we're probably going to have to regroup all of them. Oh, yeah, I see. I see regrouping. Okay. So if I have the light blue chips and I only have one, I cannot take 9 chips away from that one chip. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to borrow a chip. I'm going to regroup a chip from next door. That means next door is going to only have 2 of the pink chips left. When I drag the pink chip over and I cash it in for 10 light blue ones, I end up with not 1 but 11, right? Because I dragged 10 over. So I have 11. 11 minus 9 is 2 chips. Now I've got a problem. I have 2 of these pink chips and I need to take 3 away. So I'm going to borrow or regroup from my neighbor. Instead of having 6, when I borrow 1, I have 5. And I take that over here and I cash it in for the pink ones and I end up with 10 pink ones plus 2 pink ones is 12. 12 minus 3 is 9. Now I can't do this. If I have 5 green chips, I can't take 6 away. So I'm going to come over here to the lavender chips. I'm going to take 1, which means I'll have 3 left. I'm going to drag one of them over here, cash it in for 10. And 10 plus 5 is 15. 15 minus 6 is 9. Now I have 3 of these lavender chips. I can't take 6 away. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to regroup 1, borrow it from the neighbor over here. And the neighbor will have 4 chips once I borrow 1. And when I cash it in, instead of being a 10,000, it's going to be 10 1,000s. 10 plus 3 is 13. 13 minus 6 is, let's see, 4 plus 3 is 7. And then I have 4 of the dark blue. I can take 3 away. That's going to leave me 1 of the dark blue, right? Now, I'm going to take these two numbers and I am going to add them together. Remember, it's an inverse operation. That's a good word for you to know. So I'm going to add these two guys together, and I'm probably going to have to do some regrouping. If you do regrouping in the subtraction, you're probably going to have to do regrouping when you check it. 9 plus 3, or 9 plus 2 is 11. Regroup. 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 9 is 13. 6 plus 1 is 7. 9 plus 7 is 16. Regroup. This makes 7 plus 7, which is 14. This makes 5. Do I have my top number up here? Yeah, if you take away, if your mind, you can cancel out all these slash marks. I have 5, I have 4, I have 6, I have 3, I have 1. So my check step, this was kind of a tricky problem. My check step really helped me solve that tricky problem. It's a little extra work, but I like getting 100% on my math. And little Karen also liked getting 100% on her math. So this check step, if I had to regroup all the way across, I would be fine. But if there were 1 or 2 rows that didn't have regrouping, my check step would be off, and then I would know where to fix it, right? Okay, let's do the last one. Here we go. Woohoo! Last one. 89,352. And we're going to subtract 79,678. Ooh, there's going to be some regrouping on this baby. Let's see. Starting out with my light blue chips, I only have 2. I can't take 8 away. The 8 is too many to take away. I don't have enough to take from, right? So I always think of this as something I like to eat. Like if I have 2 potato chips and 8 people want chips, I've got a problem because I only have 2 chips. I can't give everybody chips. And so this isn't going to work out. I'm going to have people that are mad. I'm going to have 6 people that are angry that don't get chips. So I'm going to come over here to the pink. I take 1 away from the pink, which leaves 4 chips. And then I'm going to convert the 1 pink chip into light blue, 10 light blue chips. So 10 plus 2 is 12. 12 minus 8 is 4. Now I have 4 pink chips. I can't take 7 away. I'm going to come over here to the green chips, take 1 away, and then I'm going to cash that in for 10 pinks. And 10 plus 4 is 14. And 14 minus 7 is 7. Now I have 2 green. I can't take 6 away. So I'm going to come over here to my neighbor, take 1 of the lavender chips away, and cash it in for 10 of the greens. 10 plus 2 is 12. 12 minus 6 is 6. If I have 8 of the lavender chips, I can't take 9 away. So I'm going to come over here to the dark blue, borrow 1 of those chips. That's why they used to call it borrowing. And then I'm going to have 7 once I do that. And that means that I'm going to drag that blue chip over and I'm going to trade it for 10 lavender chips, right? If I have 18 chips and I take 9 chips away, I have 9 left. If I have 7 of these dark blue chips and I take 7 away, I have nothing left. Okay? So let's double check. Let's double check our steps here. And when I double check, and remember I'm using the inverse operation, I just like to write words over and over again so I remember them. I'm going to take these 2 dudes, bottom number and the answer. I'm going to add them together and that's going to give me the larger number. Especially if I do a lot of regrouping, I want to do that. I want to use the check step. 8 plus 4 is 12. Regroup. 7 plus 7 is 14 plus 1 is 15. Regroup. 6 plus 6 is 12 plus 1 is 13. Regroup. 10, this equals 10 plus 9 is 19. Regroup. And 7 plus 1 is 8. Did I get my top number up here? Yes, if you can get rid of all the messy slash marks, I started out with 89,352. They match. And I like to give myself a little smiley face when they match because I'm silly. And I like it when my numbers match. It makes me happy. All right, so I hope this helped you figure out how to subtract large numbers with some regrouping. Regrouping doesn't have to be scary. You don't have to be afraid. If you just picture the chips in your mind, it helps. You don't have chips at home, but one thing that you can do at home that I've seen before that kids do is they make a big place value chart, just like the one I had, right? It looks like this. Make it a little bigger. It looks like this: ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. You can put a little comma there so you know where the comma is. So you can use different things. Like if you have a change drawer, at my house when I was a little kid, we always had a change drawer. My dad kept his change in a drawer. So we always had pennies and nickels and dimes. And you can use those as manipulatives. You can also use buttons. You can use cereal, right? Cereal makes an awesome counter. If you have several kids in your family, you have several different kinds of cereal. So you could say, "Oh, I have 3 Captain Crunches. And I have 4 Tricks. And I have 3 Raisin Bran Flakes or 5 Raisin Bran Flakes," right? So you can use anything as a counter at your house. I didn't send these home with you because we don't have a lot of them, and we can't afford to lose them because we already don't have enough for everybody. When they sent us the math program, they were cheap and they only they only sent us, I guess they thought we had less students than 31, so they sent us than 30, so they sent us very few. So we almost have to share with partners every time we use them. So you can use your own counters. If you're struggling with subtraction, try using your own counters. You can make your own chart on paper, and you can solve each problem using your counters that you make at home. There are many different little tiny things that you can use as counters, right? And then when you're done, you can eat all of your counters. If you use cereal or if you use candy, please don't use buttons and eat the buttons though, because that will be very, very bad for you. But so you can get creative with this. I know subtraction is difficult. I'm telling you that as a person who barely survives subtraction. So if you're struggling with subtraction, use this same strategy because this is a really good strategy, making a place value chart and exchanging. It helps you to see regrouping, right? This is a really good way of seeing and understanding regrouping. All right. Thanks for joining me. Hope that I made subtraction a little bit easier for you and I didn't confuse you. And I will talk to you later.